Hello, sacred souls. It's Susanna from Shamanic Shaman. What I have here for us tonight is a bit more healing of the mother wound. And that is something that came to me recently. I found this plant. Someone had actually put it on, those little electric boxes with like whatever electrical connections that the city usually has all around in the various different neighborhoods, and they're usually like chest high roughly, and it was sitting right on top of one of those, and it said, "Take me home," right? So it was one of those free plants that I got, and look at the name, Mother of Thousands. And I knew instantly that I needed to do a ceremony with that. And I feel like it's really twofold. On the one hand, it represents Mother Earth, and we're all these little babies basically that, are children of Mother Earth. So we humans are children of Mother Earth. But also many of us who are empaths, we we were raised in a way that we basically had to be the caregiver of our narcissistic parent or parents or caregivers, and we had to be the adult, whereas the parent was the child in a way, right? So it was this reverse dynamic of the being the parentified child, as it's called in psychology. So we end up being the giving and caring ones throughout our lives until or unless we either learn to set proper boundaries, or in some cases when people turn dark and they then become the narcissist when they've been hurt so many times that they decide to just shut off their feelings, right? But anyhow, so this is more for the caring ones. So many of us, we found ourselves in roles of, let's say, teachers or healers, or maybe in social work, like being social workers and so on, right? So it was usually a nurturing role where we had sort of the role of a mother in a way, or a father, right? For any male viewers. So this plant also very much represents us. And through our connection with Mother Earth, we also heal. Now, the thing is, when I picked up this plant, I brought it with me on my work day, and I drove with the car window open because it was actually a beautiful, hot, sunny day. I think it was the first or second really beautifully hot day. And unfortunately, a lot of these little babies fell off, and some of them actually fell into here, like off to the side. I don't know if you can see, there are some here and here. See, I picked up this one now that was just sitting on the leaf, but not where it was. Basically, most of these leaves were covered in these babies, just like this one is up here, but like all over. You can see where they had fallen off already. Here, 3 are missing on this leaf, but there are still 3 here. So there were 6, right? So I'm going to put this down here too. So you can see, so there are some babies in here now and here. And I don't know where the other ones went, but here are some leaves that are still with the babies, or that still have most of the babies attached. So you can see like they were all like that, or most of them, right? So, and I think that's why it's called Mother of Thousands, because they have their tiny little babies everywhere. On every leaf there are babies, right? So it's a very fertile plant. Looks like this one's gonna fall off soon too. See, and maybe that's why they gave it away, because they multiply so quickly that they figured they should spread it. And maybe I'll do the same. We'll see. But with that being said, so being the parentified child, on the one hand, forced us into the nurturing, caregiving role. On the other hand, a lot of times that also went along with other blockages and retreats. So, in my case, for example, I was also the kind of child when my parents started fighting, and my brother, who's much older, was often the center of some of those fights as well. I retreated into my room and I escaped into books, right? So, retreat was my coping mechanism. And I know for many of you who have had abuse happen at home, um, if we didn't have the option of fighting back, which, like, for example, my brother did much more actively, right? So different people have different ways of responding to trauma and abuse, or to abuse. But many of us did retreat to varying degrees. So I found this beautiful candle at the dollar store that is a shell. So this healing shall also help us come out of our shell and help those parts of ourselves that we buried deep within ourselves come out of the shell again, basically, right? So if we were forced into a toxic, enmeshed situation or relationship with our parent where we had to bury parts of ourselves so that we could step up when really they were supposed to, then parts of our pure, innocent child and inner self got buried, right? So we're going to heal that with this candle, and I'm going to break this walnut to break through any and all barriers, blockages, and walls that we put up as a result of this kind of abuse and toxic situation, right? So, yeah, with that being said, I also put some hoisin sauce here. So I want to also squeeze a lot of that dark stuff out. Um, I've been in really sort of low, heavy energies for the past few weeks, really. And I've also been taking more time to rest because I felt I needed that. So my apologies if I didn't put out a lot of videos, but I think probably a lot of you were in a similar um, emotional space because a lot of times, like in our collective, we're going through similar things, right? So this is going to be a really good, important one for us to get rid of some of those energies again. And other than that, I just realized I didn't put a rattle there. Let me quickly grab one. And then we're going to get right to it. And I finally have a new sage. I was out for a little bit. So I'm actually looking forward to smelling that again. I love the smell of sage. So let's start our smudging and then jump right in. Oh, yeah, and for those of you who haven't watched the last few, I changed the 4 elements a little bit just to mix it up. So I actually, you can see, have a little bird wing. I have a rock here now for the earth. The fire is the same. And the shell for the water. Oh, that feels good. Please cleanse, clear, and renew all of our energies and take away anything dark, low vibrational, and unhealed, and transmute it into pure divine essence and return it to the universe for reintegration, and help us fully and completely reintegrate with our own inner divinity, as well as that all around us, and through that help us be in oneness with all of creation. Thank you, Dankeschön, all my relations. All right. Dear divine higher power of the universe, our higher selves, our divine team of the light, including the 4 elements and the 4 directions, please join the ceremony and assist the healings, prayers, and protection with all of your powers. Thank you. Please close the circle of protection around us. Thank you. So first, I want to give thanks to just all the things that have been slowly developing. My latest thing is that I'm finally properly blessing the water before drinking it. I've been meaning to do it for quite a while, and sometimes I've been doing it sort of half-heartedly. But today I really, really, truly felt it. So I'm very thankful for that. So that feels like the next step. And I hope in the meantime, you've all had a chance to give thanks for what you're thankful for. With that being said, let us light this shell candle to help us come out of our shell, and let us break right away this walnut to break any and all blocks, barriers, and walls that we put up for our own protection. Ooh. And let us get rid of all those dark energies.